Welcome to Middle T and Hikes, and today we are at Henry Horton, and we're going to do the Hickory Ridge Trail Loop and the Hickory Ridge Trail Outer Loop. Starting at the camp store. It's currently closed right now, but I figured this way, if you started at the campground, you'd have to take this little shortcut here. There is a parking lot closer, but this way I accommodate both crowds. So the little short connector, I don't even think they measured on the map, it's so short. It takes you over to the closest road, you cross the street, and now you're in the parking lot for the Hickory Ridge Trail. Which there's some disagreement between the name on the map and the trail sign and all that. This park has a lot to offer. They really wanted people to come here. They got a golf course, hiking, canoeing, camping, a hotel, a restaurant, and many other things. Just look them up. Well, it won't take long to notice that there's a ton of rock formations in this area. This trail in particular. Let's see here. Now this is two loops back to back. So rather than walking half of one twice, I'm just gonna go outside of both of them and treat it like there's a shortcut in the middle. There's lots of beautiful stones all over the place, and they're huge. And I know my kids certainly enjoy seeing them. And this time of year they're covered in moss, so they really stand out. One of these loops is 1.5 miles, and the other one is 1.25 miles. So I'm not doing the entirety of either one. And it starts off right by the campground, so be aware that there's little trails going just to camp spots. That's not the main trail. Blaze markers are orange, and I'll have to look at other trails because they actually label this trail as orange on the map, so maybe they've color coded everything. Now across the first leg of the trail I went straight. Then when that finally curves away from the campgrounds, it's one sink after another. And for those of y'all that don't know what a sink is, it's these little holes in the ground. They're not caves, it's just where the dirt sinks in under the surface of the surrounding dirt. These woods, this time of year has a lot of visibility, but I can tell that the underbrush, although thin, is about shoulder high to me, so there's going to be places here in a few months where it might be hard to see off in the distance. But right here it's pretty clear. There's not a whole lot in the way there. There is elevation change. You will have to be able to walk up hills. There's not a bunch, it's not super hilly, but there is a change in elevation for sure. Well, you're going around the inner loop and you'll come to a point where there's a sign that says turn here for the outer loop, and it's pretty clearly marked. This trail also is orange, and so far it's been double orange. I don't know if they'll keep with that trend, but for every orange blaze there's a second one under it. Be on the lookout. Some of these trees have engulfed some of the rocks under them, and it makes for quite a cool looking little knot of rock and wood. Anyway, I'm really excited about spring bringing us some new life. Henry Horton, that's one you need to check out if you're a flower person. These trails I've seen pictures of it. I somehow always miss flower season, but I've seen pictures of the trails. They're just lined with wildflowers. So maybe I can get back in a couple weeks. Because I mean, any day now, it'll be time. This is pretty cool. You probably can't tell in the video. This is moss. This is one big large rock as far as I can see through the trees right there. It does have some cracks and stuff in it. That's where the trees are coming from. But still, it's a whole lot of stone. I'm hoping the sounds of the highway and the airplanes and everything else are dampened a little bit when the leaves come in. But the trees are so close, when the wind blows, you hear constant snapping and cracking and squeaking as the trees bang and rub together. I had a tree in my backyard that did that growing up. It's always been pleasant to hear it ever since. I like this tree. Well, there's no shortage of things to hang your toe on this trail. It doesn't really distract from the fact that it's an easy trail. You just kind of have to be aware of what you're doing with your feet. That scenery sure did a 180. We went from pretty well shaded to just barren stones and sun and wrinkled up trees. Oh, there's some over there. One thing I'm noticing, I noticed this last time I was at this park, they are swapping from, I guess they're swapping from blaze markers to little metal medallions. So they seem to be keeping to the same color though. So if you get out here and it's metal medallions instead of paint, sorry, I think they're swapping on me. Well, now we're surrounded by cedars. This trail mixes it up a little bit, which is nice. One of the things I like about this park is most of the trails are connected. And for instance, right here, there's a connector trail that takes you to the river trail, which I think is the Adeline-Wilhoit River Trail. I don't know. A lot of the confusing thing about this park is they recycled a lot of the names. There's Adeline-Wilhoit Mill, there's Adeline-Wilhoit Trail, there's Adeline-Wilhoit Loop. So be aware of the name. I'll try and get it right. And it doesn't help that a lot of the signs use different terminology than the map. This is the largest bent tree I've ever seen. Well, now we're back on the inner loop, the single orange blaze markers. Upon further inspection, they may have done the outer loop in its entirety. I'll have to see how they measured that. They have some point-to-point measurements on the map. I'll give that a review and get back to you. So even though the trail's pretty easy to see, I decided to stop and ask this tree for directions anyway. He says I'm on the right path. be sure and take a minute and look at this huge sink. You can see all the water erosion in the rocks. It's got a lot of little cavities in it. And I don't know if it's coming through in the picture, but it goes on for quite a ways. And some of the rocks you can teeter on, and they echo through the sink. Well, we're back at the beginning of this trail. This has been Metal Tea and Hikes. Hope you enjoyed this one. Get out, go hiking. Maybe I'll bump into you. So it looks like of the mileage, I only didn't complete 0.2. So it's 0.2 of a mile I didn't get to. The rest I did.